You've been asked to stand up and give a presentation at work, and now the sweat starts rolling down your back because public speaking is just not your thing. Here's the reality. Every single one of us, if you're a leader or professional, you can learn how to speak like a leader. Head to speakwithpeople.com/speaklikealeader and check out our training course that will help you not only learn how to speak like a leader, but to speak with confidence and in a captivating way. So the next time you're asked to speak in front of your team, you'll absolutely crush it. Welcome to the Speak with People podcast. My name is Jason Raitz. I'll be your host, and this podcast exists to help you improve your communication skills. Whether you communicate one-on-one, to a team, from a stage, or from behind a screen, we know that when we improve our communication skills as leaders, it exponentially changes everything. It improves our relationships, it improves our leadership skills, and it improves our business skills. So let's get ready to dive into this next episode. Healthy communication is oxygen for your relationships and your leadership. When you are able to speak in a way that breathes life into people, not only will they listen to you, but they will respond to what you're saying. It is just powerful. Now, we've talked about this on the podcast before. Communication's dirty little secret is when you communicate in unhealthy ways, they will listen to you as well. They will, because they're listening out of fear and you're controlling them. But when you actually communicate in a healthy way and you speak with people, they are going to lean in, they are going to listen, they're going to learn, and they're going to make decisions that will change their lives based on what you're communicating. This is why we want to encourage you to speak like a leader. I mean, wouldn't that be a great reality? There are a million speakers out there. There are a million people who get up in front of people and talk. But wouldn't you like to be the person? Wouldn't you like to be the leader who breathes life into your audience? Even if you're just standing up and doing a report at your company's team meeting, even if you're just doing a Zoom update in front of everybody, whatever it is, wouldn't you love to communicate in a way that just breathes life? Well, that's what we're going to talk about on this episode of the Speak with People podcast. We're in a series called Speak Like a Leader. We also have an online course that's available to you at speakwithpeople.com/speaklikealeader. If you really want to accelerate your learning and you want to be able to, well, I'll just go right out with it. You want to earn more money at work. You want to get more career advancements. You want people to respect you more. Learn how to speak like a leader. Those things will happen when you begin to speak like a leader. I love this from Gerald Ford, former president of the United States. If I went back to college again, I'd concentrate on two areas: learning to write and speak before an audience. Nothing in life is more important than the ability to communicate effectively. Oof, powerful, just so powerful. In this podcast series, we started with the great Nancy Duarte. Episode 1, if you missed it, you got to go back, go to speakwithpeople.com/podcast. Listen to it. Please then send it to like 10 people because she is a world-class leader. It was an honor to have her on the podcast. Week 2, we talked about how you got to assess and prioritize your health. We started to introduce this thing called the pathway. And so we're going to keep walking through the pathway. The pathway is a step-by-step guide that helps you become a more empathetic, effective, captivating communicator. And so step 1 was to simply assess and prioritize your health. Step 2, we're going to dive into that more today. And step 2 is simply, you got to understand if you are communicating with people or you're communicating at them. Like, are you a with or an at person? I mean, this is a very, very important thing because like Ralph Waldo Emerson said, speech is power. Speech is to persuade, to convert, and compel. That's how powerful your speech is, your words are. And here's the thing, our words, and I don't know who said this, there was somebody who said it, our words are an art exhibit of the things stirring deep within us. So the words that you use, the words that come out of your inner world, like we talked about last week, are they healthy and are they stirring the people in your life? So the challenge today is twofold. One, make a commitment to speak with people, not at them. And then just genuinely care for your audience. Genuinely care for your audience. John Maxwell said the bottom line is that connecting is everything when it comes to communication. Connecting is everything. If you've never read his book, Everyone Communicates But Few Connect, you've got to go out and buy it right now. because it's just powerful. We all communicate words all over the place, but we have to know how to connect. So we're going to keep walking through these 8 steps of the pathway during this series. Step 1, assess and prioritize your health. Step 2, speak with people, not at them. Step 3, deeply and genuinely care for your audience. Step 4, study and prepare. Step 5, embrace clarity. Step 6, tell stories that matter. Step 7, partner with laughter. Step 8, craft the entire experience. This is how you speak like a leader. You just rinse and repeat. Do these things every single day. And why? Why do these things? Why invest in your public speaking? Why? Yes, it's a shameless plug. Why I think you should go buy the Speak Like a Leader course is because it will increase your self-confidence. Are you ready to be able to communicate in a way that causes people to listen? You'll communicate more clearly. Your comfort level will increase in social situations. You'll run better meetings. You'll be able to present ideas more clearly. Time and time again, Harvard Business Review shows us number 1 criteria for advancement and promotion for professionals is the ability to communicate effectively. This is why we have a great responsibility with our words. They matter. And so you've got to be able to communicate with them in a way that breathes life into people. That's what makes Speak with People different. We have this with or at philosophy. It's with or at. Do you speak with people? Do you speak at people? We say speaking with people is breathing life into them. This is choosing healthy communication. This is being an oxygen tank. Speaking at people is being like a vampire. You're sucking the life out of people. Do you have those people in your life? They just suck the life out of you. It's like every single word that they chose and the way that they say it and the tone that they say it, it's just like nails in a chalkboard. And you're like, what the H are you thinking? Why do you got to suck the life out of me? Why do you got to suck the life out of me? I bet if we did a little, when I do this training for companies, when I go in and do our healthy communication skills training, we do a brainstorm. We talk about who are some TV characters who speak at people. I wonder who comes up in your mind right now. I think of Louis Litt from Suits. I think of Dwight Schrute from The Office. Who else do you think of? Who else do you think of when it comes to the with? Who are the TV characters that you're like, oh, they speak with? I think of Ted Lasso. Oof. I think of Nate Bargatze. It's powerful. Donna from Suits. If you go to speakwithpeople.com/with or at, speakwithpeople.com/with or at, there's a quiz there. And you can take the quiz and it will give you an idea. Just put a blip on your radar of are you speaking with people or are you speaking at them? You can also download the checklist. We'd love for you to be able to go there. But there's great benefits of communicating with people when you speak with them. They'll go the extra mile for you. They'll say positive things to you. Who doesn't want positive things said about them? They'll encourage you. Trust will be built between you two. They'll actually express themselves more readily with you. They'll display a connection with you. So you've got to be able to speak with people. You got to speak with them. It's so valuable for your communication. If you really want to connect with people, speak with them. Speak with them. And if you really want to connect with people, you got to figure out your communication type. Your communication type. There's a blog post on the Speak With People blog, speakwithpeople.com/blog. And it has information more in detail about this. But the great Jeff Henderson, who I've tried to get on this podcast, he's on my gonna get him someday list. If you've never heard of Jeff Henderson, look him up. Would love if you email him, jeff@jeffhenderson.com. I don't know if that's his email. And just say, hey, you should be on the Speak With People podcast. I love Jeff Henderson. He is brilliant. He's one of the best communicators. Forbes actually said he's one of the best communicators ever in the world. It's just true. But he writes how if you're going to really be a great communicator, you've got to understand which communication style or communication voice is best suited for you. Because if you're a lot like me, when I was younger, I tried to communicate like the people I emulated. I tried to communicate like Jeff Henderson or John Maxwell or Zig Ziglar or Ken Davis. I tried to communicate like those people instead of just learning what I could from them and then communicating like Jason Raitz. So, like Jeff Henderson says, the goal isn't to become someone else. You need to leverage your voice. So which of these communication voices is your dominant? The first one, motivator or personal. Are you more of that like motivational voice? You pump people up. I'm going to go through these pretty quick. The blog post has more information. And of course, when you go through the Speak Like a Leader course, you got all the information in there. It gives you everything. The second one is a storyteller. Take people on a journey with you. The third one is a teacher. I mean, you take people to a level of depth. You use graphs and data. And you're just that kind of communicator, or you're a visionary. You build excitement. You create a picture of what people are dreaming of. What kind of communicator are you? That's why it's just so important to be you. Just be you. If you want to speak like a leader, be you. The great Bruce Lee said, always be yourself and have faith in yourself. Do not go out and look for a successful personality and try to duplicate it. Just be you. Be authentic. Be transparent. You are so uniquely and creatively made. You're one of a kind. You're a masterpiece. So act like it. Act like it. Good speakers don't see themselves as experts with passive audiences they need to impress, but they see the audience as an opportunity to be able to help people succeed, as an audience to be able to help people succeed. And that's why the third step of the pathway is to deeply and genuinely care for your audience. And so now we're at step 3. We're walking ourselves around the pathway. The first step was to assess and prioritize your health. The second step was to speak with people, not at them. The third step is to deeply and genuinely care for your audience. Deeply and genuinely care. You know, my 10-year-old son, he and I have much different interests. I love baseball. I love Ted Lasso. I love The Office. I love Hootie and the Blowfish. If I sat down with him and I'm like, I got to tell you why Hootie and the Blowfish are the best ever, he's just not interested. He's not going to care at all. If I sat down with him and I said, hey, I got to tell you why I think Minecraft is amazing, now his interest is piqued. Now he's ready to communicate. It's the same thing with your audience. Why is it so often as a speaker, we bring the only thing that we want to communicate and talk about? No, our goal, if we're going to deeply and genuinely care for our audience, is to become as audience-centered as we can. Let me just say this as simple as possible. Be obsessed with your audience success and you will succeed. Be obsessed with your audience's success and you will succeed as a speaker and a communicator. You will then speak like a leader. Dale Carnegie said this, the royal road to a man's heart is to talk to him about the things he treasures most. Are you kidding me? That's it. You want to speak like a leader? Take Dale Carnegie's stuff and move on, because that's everything you need to know. But the problem is sometimes we just present information, we dump information, we share things that don't really connect. So my challenge to you, if you're going to really deeply and genuinely care, is to master the art of self-forgetfulness and shift the focus from you to them. Shift the focus from you to them. And that's just the reality of what you're going to have to do. And so just a couple thoughts if you're going to be audience obsessed. One, become the expert in your audience. Ken Hamer said, designing a presentation without an audience in mind is like writing a love letter and addressing it to whom it may concern. Ooh, that's so powerful. That's so powerful. Extremely important to absolutely know your audience and to have a pulse on them. Now, I'm going to give you something. Lenny Laskowski from the Princeton Language Institute, he wrote this. We go into greater detail in the Speak Like a Leader course, of course. I'm just going to do shameless plug because we wrote this course with you in mind so you could stand up in front of your people and kill it. You could crush your next presentation. But I'm giving it to you in the podcast because I want you to know how much we care about you. And so I found this through research. I want to give it to you. And Lenny, he just takes the word audience. You want to deeply and genuinely care for your audience, be obsessed with them. So you break down audience, AUDIENCE. Audience stands for, the A stands for analysis. Who is your people? Who are going to be there? You got to get an idea of what's going to happen. Then the U is understanding. What's their knowledge about the subject that you're speaking about? The D is demographics. Where are they from? What's their age, their background, their generation? Get all the information you possibly can. I is interest. Why are they attending? Why are they even sitting in this thing? Why are they at the conference? Why are they in the team meeting? Whatever it is. E, environment. You got to understand where you're going to stand, what kind of room it's going to be like, will everyone be able to see and hear you. The N is needs. What are the needs with respect to this topic? Gerald C. Meyer says, find out what's keeping them up at night and offer hope. Your theme must be an answer to their fears. Oh my goodness, man, I am dropping like quotes. I wish they were mine, but I just researched them so I could give them to you. The C is customized. What do you need to address in your audience to meet their needs? And then E is expectations. What do you think they expect to learn or hear from you? And so go through these. When you go through these, it's just amazing. Bridget Heyman said, you can talk to your blue in the face, but people know in their gut if you really care about them. Master the art of self-forgetfulness. Shift your focus from you to them and just be obsessed with your audience's success. Be obsessed with their success. If you know them, then it's just amazing what you're going to be able to accomplish because you know what's going on in their life. You know what's happening. And here's the reality. When it comes to knowing your audience, your audience needs to know that that you are on their side. You are there for them. Even if it's giving a report. I keep going back to that analogy, but I talk to leaders all the time who are like, I just want to be able to stand up in front of my team at a team meeting and just crush it. Like drop the mic, be able to stand up and go, this quarter was killer. Here's why, whatever the presentation is. So they got to know that you're on their side. Aristotle said it this way in the Rhetoric. In the context of persuasion, he identified the most important element as pathos, the communicator's ability to connect with the feelings, desires, wishes, fears, and passions of their listeners. So how's your pathos? This is a way of giving assurance, letting them know that they can trust you. Telling them, hey, can I listen to this person? Because I guarantee you this, from the get-go, every single person listening to a speaker, every single person listening to a training, the first thing they're thinking is, why should I listen? Why is this important to me? And so right from the get-go, you've got to care about your audience. Lisa Kirk says, a gossip is one who talks about others. A bore is who talks about themselves. And a brilliant conversationalist is one who talks to you about you. That's so powerful. Care deeply for your audience. Care deeply for your audience. Understand what's happening. Give them the tools they need. There's a great story about Abraham Lincoln during the Civil War. He would walk down to a local church on Wednesday nights, and the pastor would keep his study door open. And the study was right off the sanctuary, and Lincoln could sit in the study so nobody else could see him. Nobody knew he was there, just cause a ruckus. And one night walking home, the general who was with Lincoln said, what did you think about the pastor's sermon? And Lincoln said it was brilliantly conceived. It was relevant, well presented. And so the general said, yes, it was great. And Lincoln said, no, I didn't say it was great. It actually failed because the pastor didn't ask us to do something great. I mean, he gave us great information, but how does that change our lives? You've got to give your audience, because you know them so well and you care so deeply for them, you got to give them a strong call to action. Like you got to give them the call to action that they didn't see coming. I mean, you got to give them the fastball over the plate in the bottom of the ninth with a full count that you never thought that the pitcher was going to give you a fastball right down the plate. And then you got to knock that ball so hard that you just ride it out. You can tell why I'm so excited about this. So you got to be able to do it. So master the art of master the art of self-forgetfulness by putting your audience's needs above your own. If you want to truly speak like a leader, it is time to take the focus off yourself. This is the thing that will improve your communication more than anything else. If you stop worrying about how you'll do, you'll stop worrying about your nerves. You'll stop worrying about you. Yes, all of us have a disease called me-itis. We're the center of the universe, our own universe. It's about me. For a second, care about other people. Deeply and genuinely care for them. So in this week of the podcast series, we wanted to dive into 2 different steps of the pathway. You got to understand the difference between speaking with or speaking at. So I gave you a little bit of the with or at. And then step 3 was to deeply and genuinely care for your audience. If you go to speaklikealeader.com/with or at, you can take the quiz. You can also download the checklist. We have a different download on there. One is for one-on-one communication. How do I know if I'm speaking with or at somebody one-on-one? There's your checklist. How do I know if I'm speaking with or at someone when I'm up in front of a stage? We got a stage checklist. And go through those. They're so important. And don't forget to download the free public speaking checklist. You're going to speak in public, you're going to need to remember things like bring your power cord and make sure your batteries are in your clicker and, check your zipper before you walk up. All of those different kind of things. And lastly, the course exists for you. Speakwithpeople.com/speaklikealeader. If you missed any of the podcasts in the series, go back and watch them. Thank you so much for giving us a rating on Apple or Spotify. Thanks for giving us a review, subscribing to the podcast. We are obsessed with your success. So email me, jason@speakwithpeople.com. Let me know how I can help you succeed, and I would love to do that. We'll see you in the next episode in this Speak Like a Leader series. Well, thank you for joining us on another episode of the Speak with People podcast. We hope that you were encouraged. We hope that you were inspired and challenged to improve your communication skills. I want to thank you again for being a part of the Speak with People podcast community. Make sure you don't miss out on being a part of the Speak with People Facebook community group. Just head to Facebook, type in Speak with People, scroll down and join our community because every single day we're encouraging each other, we're helping each other to improve our communication skills. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next episode.